On YouTube, I had a friend request a detailed version of me shooting. I'm helping with the cannon. So before I go into that, I'm gonna tell y'all, for who all views and doesn't know what I'm talking about. Uh, so we had a JROTC Veterans Day ceremony, and anyway, the Master Sergeant and Colonel picked 4 Raiders, and Raiders is a actually, I can't really describe Raiders. Raiders is like a more advanced JROTC thing. Well, it's an activity, but anyway, enough of that. But this right here is a replica of a cannon from Cowpens, South Carolina. But I really didn't shoot one of these cannons. I shot a actual 12-pound mountain howitzer, and y'all can't really see me, so I gotta get down here with y'all. And I don't like this because it's not comfortable with on my neck right here. So anyway, I'm just gonna go into detail right now. So first of all, I'm gonna tell you where I stood, and I would be standing. Hold up, let me. So I'd be on this side of the cannon, which flipped around is this side. Yeah, it'd be this side. If you was looking from the cannon this way, you would see me on this side. No, wait. Hold on. Let me figure. Yeah, I'd be on that side, right here. So, it's been a while ago, so bear with me. Anyway, also, when I helped with it, I did not in any way mess with the firing mechanism. I actually was I was in charge of pounding in the ammunition and the dry sponge. I forgot the commands. If I remembered the commands, I would have said it perfectly. But anyway, I'll just tell you what my job was, and I'll tell you what other jobs of the actual cannon were. So first off, let's start off with me over here. My bad. Over here. But this would be y'all side right here. But anyway, we'll start off here. My job was to take it's like one of those torches, but instead of a like rag, it was like a cloth mop or something. Anyway, mine was dry. So but I'll actually tell you what I saw with the 12-pound mount howitzer. Anyway, there would be a bucket right here hanging full of water, and there'd be a same thing I had over here, but wet over here. And the guy over here had to do this first. He had to take a stick, and it had metal. I forgot what the metal was, but anyway, it would be like a spiral. Anyway, he'd stick it down the barrel, mess around, and we had 4 ounces of gunpowder wrapped in tinfoil. It'd be like a cylinder, but yeah, it'd be like a cylinder. Anyway, and it'd get caught up in there, so he had to take it and make sure there wasn't any gunpowder and stuff sticking all around the barrel. And then he'd take the wet sponge, stick it in there, do the same thing, but just to get the gunpowder, wet, loose, and all. And then my job was to take a dry one, the same thing this guy had, but dry, and take it in there and clean out what was left. And then the guy over here who actually done the wet one, he was the one who loaded the ammunition. When he loaded it, I would take his stick, and it looked like a big old hammer, or like a mallet, but instead of this way, it sit this way. And I had to bang it in there, and I had to make sure it was nice and compact. So that was our 2 jobs, right here in the front. And then when it went to fire, I just had to use my fingers. You had to lean and cover your ear, your closest ear to the cannon. Well, or you just covered both of them. Me, I just covered one ear because it'd be like this. And the other guy would do the opposite. and then you have the guy right here. This guy over here, right here, and let me swing out around, and he'd be right here. There'd be a cord going from here to here, and he would hold that, and then he would be the one who'd pull it, and there'd be a spring, and it was like this little thing. It was like a latch, but anyway, it had a little pinprick on it, and then it would snap into a hole, which fired the thing. But anyway, he would lean like this guy, but there was a guy behind me too, which he actually had to take it had a circle on the end and a pole going through. So anyway, he'd take that, stab in the ammunition, like tinfoil, and I forgot what it was. Then he'd go into this little hole and put a percussion cap there. So after he put the percussion cap there, he had to put his finger on it to hold it in. And he'd had a special little leather thing. It'd have a little cloth circle here. And he had to put it right on his thumb. It'd go about that far, and then he had a little thumb loop. Anyway, he'd put it on the hole and hold it. And then when the command fire was done, the guy over here would just flick his wrist. You don't have to jerk like a wild hooligan. You just had to flick your wrist, and it went boom. Anyway, after like the first 5 shots, I started to smell like sulfur, and I couldn't get that off no matter what. For real. So, quick story on that one. If you ever shoot a cannon and go to high school, everybody's going to ask you, did you shoot the cannon? Or did you shoot a cannon? Because you will smell like sulfur for a week. It don't matter what clothes you wear. If it gets on your hands or anywhere on your skin, that stuff don't come off easily. And it will smell awful. I talk from experience. I literally was sitting in military history one day, and somebody literally leaned over and said, "Did you shoot a cannon?" Like, yeah, I remember the Veterans Day ceremony. He's like, "Oh." But anyway, back to the cannon. So, and there'd be a guy right here. Well, actually, he'd be staggering right over here. And he'd give all the commands. But when we went to load, this guy right here, the commander would actually go over like this and go here to this guy, which he had a little pouch with all the ammunition, all the things. And this guy did as well, but he only had the percussion caps, which it was a little leather strap with the percussion caps and a little pouch. This guy actually had like a modern day leather, no, not a modern day, but it was like a pocketbook or a purse. Anyway, it'd be like that. So he'd be up here with that, and the commander would take his, put ammunition in his pouch. And this guy would take it out of his pouch, put it in the cannon. Then we'd go through. I'd be pounding, and then all of a sudden, and then it'll just keep doing that cycle. Then when we was at, like when we needed another one, like another 4 ounce of gunpowder. Sorry, dogs got me confused, like wondering what the heck's going on. But anyway, we have a little wood block, a little box right here. Anyway, he'd walk to this. We'd all walk to this, gather up here. He would get all the ammunition he need out of this box, put it in the pouch. So, and then we kept doing that cycle. So that's pretty much what happens. And I actually want to thank the Sons of Confederate Veterans for actually loaning the cannon, because they actually was there. They was a big help. I don't know. So making a YouTube. But anyway, but that's it. So I hope y'all have a great day, and see y'all later. And my little button ain't working.